Hello, and welcome to Fusion Writing, where building character meets creating structure. Well, yesterday you got the introduction to our wonderful topics that we're dealing with today, so I won't take up any of Victoria's time. Take it away.
Well, first of all, for those of you who have been waiting with such patience, I have to point out, look what we actually have. The book is here and it is fantastic. It is a paperweight. It weighs 3 pounds. I'm not kidding. So very soon this will be available, but I've got some surprises for you that I won't spoil here. So with that said, let's talk about the Chronotope. So when I introduced this idea, we talked about how it situates your story in time and in space. And often it's used as kind of a motif to signal things to your reader. So you know that we always have our Zettelkasten week in week 3, and then we do our writing week in week 4. But before we get to that writing week, I want to give you a little bit of a pre-challenge today just to get that pen on the paper. I feel like I haven't given you nearly enough homework, so let's get after it. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to begin with one of the most used Chronotope motifs in all of literature. It is that of the road. So I want you to sit down with a pen and paper, maybe set a timer for 2 minutes, 5 minutes, I don't care. It's up to you. Choose whatever time works for you. And I want you to just scratch out every idea you can think of about the road. I'll give you some to hint. When I first did this, I came up with the high road, the low road, the hard road, the easy road, the road less taken, the road to nowhere, the road as a threshold, the road as a crossroad, a point of change, the inner road, the outer road, the dark road, and the light road. So there are a few ideas to get those juices flowing and start thinking about different iterations of the road. If you get stuck, I want you to think of opposites, right? Like the inner road, that could be an emotional, an intuition, a mental approach, or the outer road, obviously could be a point of growth, a point of change. It could be a physical road. I mean, think about this. How many times have you seen or read a story where two characters who would never have met end up having that meet cute or that point where they cross on the road? It can be in an airport. It could be at another point in a journey. It could literally be because someone's broken down on the side of the road. It's entirely up to you to dream this stuff up. But my point is, if you just noodle around with that one concept, you can come up with endless inspirations for ways to use the idea of the road, either as a metaphor for a journey, or as a particular place, or as some kind of inner or outer reflection of a character. So play with that. And then if you really want to get crazy and execute the advanced maneuver, also play with the time, okay? The road is the space. What if you add the element of time? Think about the crossroads at midnight. Okay, that is a very distinct feeling. That one hits you a certain way, as opposed to the highway at daybreak. That hits differently. So think about adding not only the space, the road, to an element of time, and then just let your writer's mind noodle on that for a little while. If I don't miss my guess, you will come up with something that gives you that spark and sets you off writing that scene for discovery. So that's your challenge, guys. I want you to play with the road, and if you're feeling fancy and advanced, throw in a time element and see where that writing takes you. And then at the end of the episode, of course, Kathleen is going to tell you where you can share that writing, so maybe I can comment and see what you've done. Kathleen?
Okay, thank you, Victoria. My mind went immediately to the very first volume of Harry Potter, where it talks about Privet Drive. That's a road. And everybody's asleep because it's the middle of the night and the street lights are all on. And Albus Dumbledore goes poop, 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 and turns all the street lights out. That's a place and a road and a time. And it starts off such an epic series. So
Perfect.
I like that very much. Well, we are going to be talking some more about the character trait of sincerity. And to review, the character's trait of sincerity is when it's a two-part, it's an interchange. There's two people involved because it's an empathy trait, and it's when our character is presenting himself in a genuine manner to another human being. That's the essence of sincerity. You can think of it as honesty in conversation form, where honesty is the character's acknowledgement to himself. The character has accepted responsibility for that which he himself has done, for good or for evil. And honesty also has a lot to do with being aware of, okay, I did this, but these other people did some of the work too, so that you're aware of your contribution in the light of the totality. So that's honesty, and sincerity is how do you present yourself to the other person. So today what we're going to take a look at is how does that change as we move through the different positions on the character profile diagram? Okay, because it always shows up differently depending on where you are. So we're going to start with the easiest one right now, and that's what I always gesture as the rudder position. That's where the character is aware of a choice. Now, that's a little bit unusual because when you think about it, sincerity, you would say, when would you sit there and make a choice of whether to be sincere or not? Well, a very good character might have to make a choice at some time because there's also an element in sincerity of, well, how much is appropriate to reveal? How much ought you say? And ought you reveal somebody else's secrets? Or are you have to be the keeper of that secret? And what if somebody else's secret mitigates what might otherwise seem a little off, absent that knowledge, with the way the character behaved? So there's a lot of stuff that goes on in the rudder position. And included in that rudder position is that whole question of whether or not it's appropriate to tell a little white lie. And that is where you're not being quite sincere, but if you were really, really, really sincere, you might say, oh, no, darling, you look like you put on 50 pounds the minute you put that dress on. You probably may not want to put it that way. So there's the question, there's lots and lots of things that can cause an issue of sincerity to show up in the rudder position. So that's whenever you have to think about it and say, what's appropriate here? Now we're going to talk about the anchor position because this is more familiar. The anchor position is the predisposition to represent yourself squarely with other people. That's you're the kind of person that does not play games with people, and you don't try to deceive people for your own profit. You're square with them, and your intent, as much as it makes sense and is appropriate to do so, you're going to represent yourself as you are. That's the anchor position. So that's what that's going to look like. It's going to be like you get asked a question, and the thought process goes, okay, now what's the reality that goes with that? Oh, yeah, here. And you give the reality back out. You don't have to stop and think about, oh, should I disguise my motives that time? You just afraid out there with it, unless there's some reason that it might be appropriate not to be totally frank. And even then, you're probably trying to say, well, wait a minute, I don't want to deceive here. I can't give away that information, but I don't want to say something that's not true either. You'll find a way, your character will find a way to express that. And one of the simplest ways, of course, is when someone asks point blank, did this happen and did it go down like that? And the simple answer is, well, something like that. And you're basically saying, yeah, you're in the right order of magnitude, but I'm not going to tell you any more than that. So there are ways when you think about it. Then we have the base position. When sincerity is in the base position, there just isn't any need to ever ask any questions about the nature of sincerity. The sincerity is just gonna be there. It's gonna flow out of who the person is. This is your character who was born with tact. They're just the right way of saying something that's just absolutely true without being out of appropriate. Ooh, your lucky character who never finds his shoe in his mouth. Yes, we don't want to end up chewing on our toes, which is easy to happen for some of us. That character is just so comfortable and smooth and just knows exactly what to say that's perfectly true and perfectly appropriate at the same time. All right, now we're going to go up the other way. Next, we have our character where it's in the wing position. Oh boy, oh boy. Now you've got the character who's just like, ow, oh, did you hear about Sylvia? Oh my goodness. Oh, let me tell you all about it. This character is ready to spread gossip. This character is ready, has no notion of what's appropriate or inappropriate, blurt out family secrets to just anybody. Chaos. That's what you get with the wing position. Then there's the pinnacle position. In the pinnacle position, the character doesn't even think about sincerity. In the pinnacle position, sincerity is a tool. There's no thing about am I representing the truth? There's no question about that. It's strictly a question of what can I say that's going to be to my best advantage? Like what comes out of the mouth is a tool to gain what you're hoping to gain. There just isn't even any question about does it match the truth? Who cares? You know, this is your stereotypical used car salesman. Just get the sale, reality, forget reality. What do you want to hear? What does the person want to hear? All right. And then we're going to cover one more position. And this is the position when it seems like it's in the anchor position. The character seems so sincere and so forthright, except you wrote him into another scene the page before where he was revealing what he's really trying to get out of your character. And suddenly your character's so taken in with the sincerity of this person. Oh, you need to get back home. Oh, yes, I can give you $200 to help you get back home. So that's your character where sincerity is flipped. He's using sincerity, false sincerity, to gain an advantage. But those are the positions on the character profile diagram. Now, what if you have a character who's actually struggling with sincerity? He kind of wants to be sincere. What happens with this character when sincerity is in the wing position? This character with the wing position, who really kind of wants to be sincere, gets home after an event and said, oh, what did I do that for? Why did I say that? There, I did it again. I just exaggerated who I was in the world and exaggerated the importance of my job and tried to make myself look better than I was. Why did I do that? Why do I keep doing that? You see, now you have a person who wants to be sincere but isn't getting anywhere with it. That's another kind of a wing position, right? And then you have the struggling person with it in the rudder position, where they're at the party and they're just about to wildly exaggerate the importance of their job and then catch themselves just in time and they go, and they swallow that blustery remark and think fast and actually come out with what was actually true about themselves. They won. They won the rudder position. They struggled with it and they got the truth out. Okay? So there's some looks at how sincerity can play out differently in your character. So now let's see if Victoria has anything she can add to that.
Ooh, what a fantastic way to build a really authentic character arc. This is fantastic. Because think about it. If you have a character that is all armored up in how they generally present themselves to the world with regards to sincerity, the pivot, the change, the key moment in that character arc is that very decision when that character chooses to leave that armor behind and instead reveal the truth and stand in who they really are. That is a powerful character arc. And that's just one little tiny piece of what you can do with sincerity, which is one of the reasons why I love this trait so much, because it's so versatile, just depending on how you toggle those little things around. And then the other thing that came to mind is think about what Kathleen did there when she was talking about the character is struggling with whether they should reveal someone's secret if it's not their own or it's not their information to tell. What are they standing at when they're facing that struggle? They're standing at the crossroads. So even something as complex as working through the character traits can be influenced by using a chronotope as another layer over building that story. So I tell you what, guys, you try to get this much education for $8 a month anyplace else and you will fail miserably. But that's what we're here for. We're here to give you these tools so that you can get your stories written. And as I said in my segment, if you do play around with the road as a chronotope, we do have a place where you can post those drafts or those ideas. I would love to hear what you do with it or what you think about it. So Kathleen, where can people join us?
You can join us at LiLLiPub.org. It's where we hang out when we're not here in YouTube land. LiLLiPub.org is your place for writers. It's the most compassionate writers community that you could ever imagine. We're small, we read what you write, we give feedback. This is your chance to be with authors who are trying to get the feel of the pen in their own hands and get their words on the page. You cannot beat the value in LiLLiPub.org. We can't guarantee how long it will last because at some point in time the secret will be out. But for now, it's still yours for $8 a month. And if you join us at that level, that's your price for life. Even if we have to raise the rate because we just get too many members and we're flooded and we have to up the price, your price won't go up. You're locked in at the $8 a month level. So don't miss out. See you there. Bye-bye.